Good morning, everybody. This is Max Farrell. This is Dex Trader, and we are here on this video to trade the dailies again. Now, I'm a little bit late. I kind of had a very late evening building some bots and some other things, and got into being a little bit late this morning. So what I did is that it's about 9:30 on September 12th, and the signals fired off right around 8:15. A couple of them fired off at 9 o'clock. That kind of good stuff. Excuse me while I take a cup of coffee. And as you can see on the dailies. Now, I completely gravitated to the Euro Great Britain pound and went over to the DPC, had a quick look, you know, where we're at. I'm usually pretty familiar with this pair. The last month, on the last 32 trades, we've had a 100% success rate. So I'm pretty clear that if I pick something with some choke up in it, and a good possibility. So what do I want to do now is that now I want to isolate the actual data on the pair for the last so many trades. So I'm going to take I'm going to put the asset there. I'm going to put the direction as well, because it's different between the buy and the sell side. So don't get confused. So on the sell side, what I'm looking to do is how many times has it fallen below 20 pips? Because remember, dailies are set at 20 pip statements in between on Nadex. They're set between, you see 90, 40, 90, 60, 90, 80. So they're in increments of 20. So it just makes sense that if I'm looking at 20 pip statements, if I want to choke up some to get some money, or maybe even look for an OTM, an out of the money possibility, I want to see how many times has it fallen below. So in this particular case, it has only fallen below 20 pips on the win side, and it hasn't lost. You can see it was crazy, right? So 1, 2, 3, and this one was pretty close. So 3, but still lost. So 1, 2, 3 out of 25. Okay, so that'd be 22 divided by 25, and that's about an 88% chance that it's not. Now, the other things that you can look at the time factor, because it's 11 o'clock expiry. You know, here's one at 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, and the other one was, where's it? Oh, here's the other one, 3 o'clock, 19. Yeah, so none had happened at the 11 o'clock. I like that kind of thinking. It's a little bit, you know, troubleshooting kind of process. Trying to see, you know, if that's a possibility. So now, do we even need to worry about a choke up? Well, let's go over and have a look. Here's the 90-20. It's sitting at $11 right now. I went and I put a working order on that one immediately, right? Because that's the one that if it retraces and comes back up, that's the one I want to hit, right? And then I looked at the choke one down, okay, and that's this one right here. Now, I went in because it was at $69 then, and it may not end up going down south, but we still have an hour and a half. In fact, it was almost an hour and 45 minutes when I got into it. But the point is that I got it for $31 risk, which is about half, 1/3 of what I normally get, or, you know, half of what I get my statements for on the risk side. So this is an opportunity. And I'm not saying it's a Hail Mary. It's founded by data, right? We just went through the data, and it sounds fine, right? Well, I've done 3 of these in the last 2 days, and they've all come out successful. So I'm not worried that I spent a couple extra, not extra bucks, but I spent a couple bucks to get this particular pair, because that $31 can make me 69. That's more than 2 to 1. And I don't know about you, but if I have good data to flow behind a trade for a 2 to 1 deal, you better believe I'm going to go for it. Because even if this one doesn't work, or the next one, I could still win the third one and still be in profit. Yes, I like that. So that's where we're at. We're going to see how this works out for today. I'll be back in a microsecond, in a macrosecond, I guess. But we'll see how these are all pan out. I'll be back in about an hour and say 15 minutes, and we'll chew some fat over the other stuff here. For you, it'll be just a second. See you in a minute. You're about quarter to 10. Looks like the 90-20 got picked up on the working order, which we suspected. So it's still pretty good, because what we have here is a great possibility of movement. And our range trades, our breakout range trades, set the margin. Let me get a proper tool here. Our range trades set the margin over a period of bars the high and the low. And so when the bars tick up or go over a particular margin or go under a particular margin, if it goes under that margin and closes, we call that a sell. And then we set the range for the top, right? So even though that it's started to go down, it's come back up to retrace, right? Because this might be what it looks like. But it's going to come back up to retrace this a little bit to go back down again. And that's what we're hoping on, is that I got the 9020 here and then the 9000 here. And that's what we're really hoping on here for it to push through, to even get close. If I can get this even to a remote amount of money too, because right now we're 21, we're almost to our full potential of loss on that. But that's okay, because even if I do lose, it's only $31. Guess what? You know, I make up with sort of the other one, and I'm not really too worried about it. But and the idea is here that if this can get close to shrink this down, if it doesn't look like it's going to recover fast enough or what have you, I'll scalp out of it, or I'll let it ride and see if I can get into money. If I get a low amount of money, it doesn't look like it's going to hit, or it's going to bounce back off and stay in between the 9020 and the 9,000, and great. Odd numbers too, so like the 9000 is a pretty heavy support line. Okay, so it's going to kind of come down and dance around and play these games around through it. It might pierce it, it might not, what have you. We also have had, let me show you here. That's my membership. Go figure. Let me get over to the Euro, Great Britain pound. Easily enough, you can see that it's had some movement. Okay, it's had this news impulsive process that's taking it from here to here, right? And then another rally downwards, right? Now, in most cases, because we have the lower highs and the lower lows happening, right? You see this is, of course, a downtrend at this point, all right? A sell trend, a bearish trend, whatever you want to call it, with the impulsive move. Now, in most cases, when impulsive moves happen, it tries to regulate itself to go back to that line, right? So it looks like it's going to try to get back up to here, right? So it would simply keep moving up until it bounced off and kind of came down, and it might retrace and keep going. It might do that. But the point is that if it breaks this level here at 9020, if we think it's going to break that level, because it only hit 9013 in the process to pick up that other piece, and that's what I'm looking for. Hang on one second, signals are firing. Do apologize. So if it breaks this structure over to the left, because this could be the continuation of the trend, starting to regulate and a little bit of a drop. But if it's not, if it's trying to reach its plateau or its safety zone to go back to this level again, then we're in a little bit of trouble for this particular trade. But you can kind of see the direction. You can also start seeing now the behavior of the Euro Great Britain pound after there's been news and it tries to re-regulate. If it gets to a point, you can also put a Fibonacci system on here and see which one it would, get to. Is it going to get to 50%, or is it going to go to 61.2, or what have you, right? So it all depends on the process that you want to use to try to figure that out. But in my case, that amount of that 9,000 right here, I just needed to go back down just a handful of pips, and right now it's only about 12 pips, not even from that point. See, it's even starting to head back down, and that's what we want to see here. We want to see another couple small red bars happening. A couple of another small red bars. It might go back up again and then keep going like this. But we only have an hour and 13 minutes for it to do that. So we only have a handful of bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, for it to go. So we need a nice big long bar on the downside here to kind of get it back to this level. That's where we really want to be, is to get to that level of trend going back down. All right, small explanation to a big question. All right, so I'll see you in a microsecond here to show you the finish out. Win, lose, or draw. I like to show these videos in the process. But if we also look at the MACD2, we had a little crossover down the bottom. This would have probably normally prevented me, but it's a weak one. So I wanted to make sure that if it was going to gravitate back up there, but the opportunity was just too vast for me to be able to get in at that point for an OTM. All right, I'm Max. This is Dex. See you in a second. All right, back again, folks, and we're looking at previous structure here on the Euro Great Britain pound. So on our OTM trade, as well as our picked up working order, that we got on the Euro Great Britain pound. Now, why I'm very excited and why I'm back in this little discovery here of looking left a little bit to get some structure here. This structure right here is what I'm really looking at. Is that it has, I'm sorry, I'm trying to draw a straight line. That structure is rejected, created as a little bit of resistance here, not just by one bar, but by two areas right here. So I'm really liking this because now we have a great opportunity, because here's what's happening on Nadex within the process here. Let me show you. We can kind of see that because it's dropped under 10 there, 90010 or 9010. It's dropped under there. We've already gone into profit on the 9020, but we're about below halfway of our loss value of our risk right now. So I could just scalp out of that, but after some analysis and looking at the process here, I'm kind of seeing a turn in on the volume and the histogram here. A little bit of volume. We're starting to head back down. You're going to end up seeing a curl here. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was another crossover and a dramatic move, because now it's treating this level as the original levels for the downward trend that was happening now. So I'm looking, like we were talking about before, about that level, right, and this rejection here. So where can it go? I'm hoping that it can get down to here and pierce down through here, just by some previous movement indicators. Let's have a look at those real quick. See if there's stuff that I can pull from the left history here. Hopefully that in this kind of movement here, even in this kind of movement here, being roughly around 10, 15, 20 pips in there. So we're looking for that. But because it's sitting at a 0-0 level, this is pretty tough, right? This is where this pathway right here is the toughest part, because this is a huge rejection area, right? This is a huge support area for the bears to rally or the bulls to rally to head back north. And that still could happen, but because we only have, an hour left on this trade. So nothing's hang on a second. Nothing's absolute. So the point is that there's a lot of little work that we still have to do, waiting for this for it to keep going south. And if it does happen, then great. If not, then I'm still okay with losing the $31. I really am. Even if this trade washes out and I'm in the hole for 10, I'm okay with that, because the availability to get, what was it? It was, in order to get this process, we won't even count the regular one, the working order, because I already count that as a possible win. That's 98% success rate. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be a win. If it's not, then you know what? Then it's one of those things that look at that, it's jumping up a little bit, 9 or 12. It's starting to rally a little. But even so in order to make my $69, I spent $31, right? So I'm okay with that. So that's a 2.4 or something like that to 1 opportunity, and I would do that all day long. All right, it's rallying right now. I should probably take it out at that point, but again, I don't woulda, shoulda, coulda. I just wanted you to see here, just so you can have a quick look, and I'll be back at the end to show you the win or the loss. Okay, so we're back. Now listen, I know as a developer, as a programmer, as a trader, as somebody who really enjoys doing what they do, that there's always ebbs and flows. And this, in my book, is not even really a loss. If the main system, the Euro Great Britain pound, had lost, I would be, a little frustrated, but there's always a 2% margin in there for that to fall. That's okay. I'm even prepared for that. But with the stretching of the choke up to get to the OTM, to get to that high rate of success, I mean, that's $69 profit. Come on, that is a great opportunity. But I wanted to show you that it isn't always about 100% win. You get all these gurus out there that, they show you nothing but their wins, So we still got 2 minutes left. Who knows? This could drop down 10 points, not. But I know that my 90-20 is safe. Why do I know that my 90-20 is safe? Well, because I'm sitting at 98.8% success rate on my Euro Great Britain pound when it hits that, if it reaches back up and grabs that level. All right. So that's how powerful range trading is when you got the data with you. Now, I'm not going to say I shouldn't have gotten into the other. Just because it loses doesn't mean I shouldn't have gotten in. There's even going to be trades that you get in. I mean, come on, the signals aren't 100%, right? If they were, this would be a completely different world. I probably wouldn't even be releasing it to anybody because I want it for all myself. But there's work to do. So you have to do the work behind it. And that's the beauty part about this, is that in this world, how much did I really lose here? Did I lose $80? No. I lost $31 on this trade and then made up 22 of that in this trade. So really only about $9 am I down for this morning. Well, this is the first trade in the box, so I really didn't do a lot. Now, it would have been a lot different if you would have seen me use the live account with some of the other things that I'm on there. But I have a trader trading. Our corporate account can only be traded at certain times and certain people with our corporate account. So I really don't go into that. Okay, but what you see happening here is, let's not look at the 9,000. Let's look at the 920. This was a simple process of putting a working order on and it getting filled. And it got filled because when the market is set, give me a second here. I think my pen broke. Okay, wait, there we go. Had it upside down. I had my pen upside down. Yeah, go figure. All right, so we set it because when the market moves over a certain range period of time, if it drops down and pierces one of the range levels, it calls it as a sell, right? But then it sets the top side as, hey, it won't be above that. It's 98.8% sure that it won't be above that 90-20. So when we looked at it and we seen, hey, look, there's some movement. What we're hoping on is that we put the working order on for the 90-20 because we want this to happen, right? We want that to happen. We want it to get close to the process. Why? Because this is what it looks like. This is the perfect scenario. Euro Great Britain pound right here. Signals releasing right now. We came close, but we didn't get all the way. It was worth it, but this is what we wanted it to do. We wanted it to pierce. It didn't even pierce the 20 level. That's a little bit outrageous. I could have even came up here and got some good yummies on the OTMs from that point at 98%, but I already had some stuff on the board. Okay, so that's basically it. We didn't win that one all the way. We won one if I would have had good margin on it, if I would have put a lot of stuff on it. Again, this is only in testing and showing you as the viewer what it looks like to be able to do those. And I'm not doing so irresponsibly on a live account. I'm doing this on a demo, and I'm being very transparent with you, and I hope you appreciate that. These videos, these daily trading with Max videos, are going to take a turn. They're going to go into a live account here soon, so I can show that. But I'm waiting for legal to get back to me on what we can do. We've been told that we are not allowed to show live accounts, but we're going to go with this because we can't find any regulations against it. Hopefully we don't lose our account, but we go with that. All right, I'm Max. This is Dex. This is Trading Dailies with Max, and just overall information of trading Nadex and using our signals, I guess you could say. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some information from it, and hope to see you inside. And as always, trade well.